Good morning. How's everyone doing? All right, good. So today is going to be an overview of Office 365. So we have a lot, some new teachers. So this is kind of just overview of what is available in Office 365. And then I'm also going to show how you can assign an Office 365 assignment to your students, which would give them each a copy of a Word document or a PowerPoint that they can then edit and submit to you through Canvas and SpeedGrader. So I'm just going to start in email. Hopefully you guys all know how to get to your email. When you first log into your email, you will probably come to this screen, or you log into Office 365. You'll come into this screen and you'll see all of your Office 365 tools. So does anyone have any questions about those tools or what they do?
What's Sway?
Sway is a tool that students can make like a small web page that can have like photo galleries and information. So it's just that's what they can create. I think Google Sites is better, but they can make. Yeah,
I have a question too. When you say assigning a Word document from this versus a Google document, do you think that either one is easier or better to manage, or is it just preference?
It's just preference.
Okay.
Yeah, I think personally Google is easier for students to use, but that's my personal opinion. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's whatever one you prefer. So, you have both options here. Any other questions about the Office 365 tools? All right, so I'm going to dive in, and so Outlook is going to be your email. OneDrive is going to be where you save your files. Your files are stored in the cloud, hence that little picture of a cloud. Word, that is your word processing tool. Excel is your spreadsheet tool. PowerPoint is your presentation tool. OneNote is a notebook, and you can create in Canvas OneNote class notebooks, where there'll be a section of the notebook that is just readable for the students, so you can put content in there that they can read. There can be another section in the notebook where students and teachers can collaborate, and there can be a third section of the notebook where each student has their own pages and their own section that only you can see and they can see. So that is definitely something you can utilize if you wanted to. Microsoft Teams. This is a tool, a collaboration tool that you can use for your CLT or your classes. And so if you wanted to have like a live chat going on, like a live text chat, Teams could be useful for that. Sway is, like I said, that little, kind of like a little web page students can make, so it's good for projects. And then Google, not Google, just forms. So if you had them and you wanted them to complete a form, you could do that. And then calendar is your calendar. If I click all apps, I can actually see all of these things, even more. But the main ones that were on that page are the important ones. So any questions about the apps available through Office 365?
So quick question. With the Teams, if we set it up like a text chat, like you said, for the like with students or your groups, does that give you a chance to save the responses? The chat itself?
Like you can't download it, but it's just always there. It doesn't delete. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Katie, is the OneNote, does it work well with like math type, like text?
Yeah, and Miss Lennox uses it, so she's someone in your department you could definitely talk to about it and get more details about how it works for her in math.
All right, thank you.
If you do guided notes, can you input pages into the student pages? So
you
that
can, yes.
In there?
Yes. So we haven't used OneNote notebook really. I haven't pushed it because it is it's kind of a heavier program, and it works best if each kid has their own device, which we haven't had. So if we had been using it with the shared computers, every time a kid logged into that computer and they used it, it would add a lot of stuff to that computer. So it's now that each kid is going to have their own device, it's definitely a tool that you can utilize more easily now, Before it would have just slowed down our computers a lot to have 60 kids have used that computer, 61 notebooks. That would be intense on that computer, if that makes sense.
What's the difference between the class notebook and the OneNote notebook?
Okay, so they're the same-ish. So OneNote is a class notebook is a type of OneNote notebook. And it's the particular type of where you'll have those 3 sections that I talked about. So if I click, I'm going to open it and go ahead and show you this setup process. You can set one up right now, just like I'm starting to here. But eventually, you could start one as a practice and then copy all the stuff from this into the ones that Canvas will create for you. Because you'll see in the course navigation in Canvas, in all of your classes, will be a class notebook link. I have it hidden in mine, but I could go to the navigation.
Is OneNote accessible on all devices, including tablets and phones and everything, depending upon what the kids use?
It is. There is a mobile app for it. So I don't know how well and how easy it'd be used on a phone. On an iPad, it'd be great. So here's class notebook. If I wanted it to show, I would just drag it up to my visible part of my course navigation. So I'll just save this so you can see what it will look like there. So you're not going to set up, like, since this is in every course, let's see, here's my link now. You would see the actual notebook you'll use with students, you'll set up through Canvas, and they'll access it through Canvas if you wanted to use that. So you see you would do the setup here, but you'd be able to copy pages in the one that you would, if you want to start creating one now, to this notebook later. But each Canvas class could have its own OneNote class notebook. So let me just show you what it's like to create one from actually Office 365. I'd say create. I could give it a name or just, whatever topic I'm doing, biology. This is just like my teacher one, but here are those spaces again. So there's the collaboration space, and you can see teachers and students can work together. The teacher can edit it, the student can edit that section. All the students in one course can edit that together. The content library, this is where the teacher can edit the content and the student can only view it. So if you're just giving them things, they can view the content. The teacher only section. All right, that's where, I don't know much use for that. You're probably just gonna have your files. And then the student notebooks, that's where you can edit the content and the students can edit only their part. So they each have a section. And it's gonna look like your traditional notebook. There's tabs on the side. If you've used our staff notebook or looked at it, that's what it is. So this is definitely an option that you can use if that suits you and your teaching style. So that's class notebook. Any other questions about that?
Can more than one class share the same notebook if they're the same content?
No, no. So you would have to, each classroom in Canvas would have its own notebook. If you cross-list courses, so first you would want to cross-list, that would mean combining courses into one. Then you would make the notebook after combining the courses, because you have to do all of your cross-listing before you publish a course. Can you input notes pages into student pages? Yes. Yep, you can totally do that. So you can take, if you have a page, you can send it to each of their sections and then they can edit. Okay. Any other general questions about the Office tools? You'll also notice there is this Install Office button. So if you're on your home computer, you can install Office onto your home computer. You can download to 5 devices, and every student has that same button as well. It is one notebook for the class, but each kid has their own section in the notebook, Buffy. So that's, yeah, it's one class notebook, and then each kid can have their own section. All right, so I'm gonna go into my email. Let's see how many emails I've gotten since I've started today. All right, since we started this session, I've gotten 3 emails. So just to help you out, your cabinet is where you can create folders. I like to number my folders so that they go in an order that I want them to go in instead of alphabetical, which is how they're usually. So I just put a number in the front of and then it puts them in the order that I like. So that's a little hack that I use. You can see I have a little to-do folder. So I like to keep my inbox pretty clean. So if it's something that I can't do or don't need to respond to quite yet, I'll move it to my to-do list. And that's kind of like where I start my morning. I'll go to my to-do list and I'll be like, okay, these are the things that I have left to do or that I'll respond to later. So if you're and you're going to be getting lots of emails, that's one way to stay organized. Another thing is you'll see I have a Canvas folder. And you'll see that I have this is where I've set a rule so that all my Canvas emails just automatically go to this folder. So they don't hit my inbox at all. So that, for instance, here's that Canvas notification email. I made a rule. So if you click on the 3 dots inside an email, you can go to Advanced Actions, Create Rule. And that is where you can create a rule for those types of emails to automatically go into a folder. You can do that with any email you receive. So if I wanted to stop looking at Kyle Trott's emails that he sends me, I can just set a rule, and so Advanced Actions, Create Rule, and then have all those full emails just go to a folder. If you're tired of my emails, you can just do that to me. So those are some email hacks that I use to kind of stay organized. Do any of you guys have some things that you do that you think would be helpful to share with other people?
I had a question about how long an email stays in your inbox. I was told that after 3 years, the county automatically deletes it. Is that true?
That is true, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, I'm gonna, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, do we set up the cabinet or is it already there?
It should already be there.
Oh.
Yeah, it should be below notes. It should be a cabinet.
Katie, I just did subfolders under my inbox.
You can do that as well.
I like the cabinet with the number system a lot better.
All right, good.
What if we don't have a cabinet?
I don't know. We can look at it later at office hours. Do other people have a cabinet?
I have a cabinet, but I like to utilize the favorites too. So the ones that I frequently visit, I just put in there so they're at the top.
Yeah, so you can definitely do that. So I don't know how my sent items, you get this little favorites area, and you can also remove it down the list or remove it from favorites. I don't know how these things have gotten into my favorites. These are not my favorites. Yeah.
I think it's based off of what you go to most often, because I had some things in there that I did not favorite, but I were in them most recently.
Yeah. Apparently I go to my deleted emails a lot. Yeah. All right.
I like
any other
emails that are important from
pin. Did you say pin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great one. That's another thing that I do within folders. Let me go back to my email. So if you want to keep an email at the top of your inbox, there's a little push pin. You can just click on that, and that will keep it at the top of your email box. So here's that little push pin. You'll see it will kind of minimize into a single little row. Let's see if it will do that. There we go. Oh. There we go. All right. You have to read it, and it will go smaller. Okay. There we go. So they see it will shrink at the top and it will stay at the top. So I could pin this email and it will stay at the top. Pin it, stays at the top. Any other email hacks you guys have?
I set up the, you can recall an email within the 10 seconds you want to send it. Since I replied all the other day. So I looked up how to do that, and you have to do it within the first 10 to 30 seconds of sending an email. But it was pretty easy to set up, and then pops up on the bottom, are you sure you want to send this? And then the undo. So I've I've set that up.
So you can just do that through your settings, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
You just
okay.
search, I think it's undo sent, and then it just, you like max out the time and then it pops up.
Basically what it's going to do is it really delays sending it for 10 to 30 seconds and then, just giving you an out.
Like, are you really sure you want to do this?
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I don't know why people don't have cabinets, but you can, create folders. Maybe I've just had the email so long I have a cabinet. I don't know. All right, calendars. So you can see I have a very busy calendar right now. I'm sure all of yours are also very busy. So you have your main calendar. The one that just says calendar is yours, and you can add additional calendars if you want. So when you add additional calendars, like I have a school activities calendar. So these are things that are like happening school-wide, but I'm not necessarily going to. So I don't want to put them on my calendar because if someone's trying to make an appointment with me, it would show it as busy. So I want to put it on a separate calendar so that people can see that I'm not really busy. So that's just one thing. If you put everything on your own calendar, it can show that you're busy, even when you're not. So that's one thing. You can also subscribe. Like I also subscribe to my Google Calendar. So you would just go to add calendar and you would subscribe by the URL. So you have to go to your Google Calendar and get like that URL for it and subscribe. So those are some calendar things. Any other calendar hacks you guys have?
I did that Calendly, I don't know how to say it. I did that. I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but I set it up for my office hours so they can sign up for any 5-minute increments, and it pops up on the calendar that that you're able to meet with the student. And I thought it was really cool because then they can like pick a time, and I thought that was a nice little.
Yeah, and it automatically makes the Zoom meeting for you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I've used Calendly, so that's that little link you can use to make an appointment with me. You'll see that I bought the premium version, so I have more than one type of appointment that people can make with me. But if just the free version, you get one type of appointment. So for you guys, all you'd really need would be for your students. And then, yeah, like Megan says, you just give them, you copy the link and you give it to them, and then they can schedule an appointment, and it syncs, like Calendly syncs with your calendar, and it's only going to let them make an appointment when you're available.
I put it in my email signature.
Yeah,
that's the
perfect. I love that it makes the Zoom meeting for me. So if I'm, in 3 hours of meetings in the morning, someone can make a meeting with me for right after that time, and I don't have to really get in touch with them. We can both just jump into a Zoom and, and it's ready. We didn't have to have any follow-up emails and things like that. It's called Calendly.
And then you can add it to your waffle thing too. Right, not the waffle, like where you go down and hit, like where little buttons are, like if you wanted to add it down there.
I'll put the link here in the chat. It's called Calendly. They do have, if you decide, obviously I have more appointment type needs. I've paid for a premium account, and they do have if you reach out to them, they do have an educator discount. So it's like 20% or something like that. But for me, like $108 for the year, like this is worth my sanity and having to like constantly get back to people to, oh, here's the Zoom meeting link. Oh, here's the Zoom meeting. Like it does it all for me. So I'll just be able to jump into meetings with people. So anyone else? Any calendar stuff? All right, then I'm going to jump into OneDrive. OneDrive is your drive of all your files. You can make folders and put things in files. You can also have team drives. Now, anything that is in your team drive is not available for you in Canvas to give to students. So if you have something in a team drive, like a CLT drive, you're gonna have to copy that over to your own drive, and then you'd be able to share it with students. So just keep that in mind. Any OneDrive questions?
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to, on our desktops, have a direct link as like a file save?
Are you on a school computer?
Yeah.
You might look in the Software Center and look if there is a OneDrive syncing tool anymore. It's been there, it's gone, it's been there, it's gone. Didn't work last year, so.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, I had a question about the inbox, the mail, but I was waiting for you to get the groups. If I set up a group account for my team, can we have a calendar that we can just put our appointments on there?
So you could have a shared calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and you could do that instead.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to a calendar, you can give people permission to edit it, and then you could have the shared calendar.
And that would show just when we're in the group setting, not my personal calendar.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So you would want to like make a different calendar. So create like another calendar, and then you can go to the sharing and permissions, and you can add people to that calendar. So I can give these people permission. I can type their,
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Katie, a question about making a in OneDrive or Teams, I guess. I don't remember. I'm a solo teacher for Spanish for Fluent Speakers in Woodbridge, and there's several teachers in the county that we are that way. We want to be together and have our things set up in one place so we can go with calendars and everything included. And so I don't know if I should use Teams or I should use OneDrive. And yeah, I just had.
I would probably this way, so it's in your drive. I would create a folder and then share that folder instead of using a group.
Would I be able to add teachers that are not from our school because they're all over the county?
Okay, anyone in the district you can add. Yep. So if I wanted to add someone to this folder, I would just click this little arrow, and then I can just type in their name and it will come up.
So will I have to create like would I create something that is called SFS CLT folder? Is that what I do?
Yep. And then you just add the other people, and then anyone can edit anything in that folder.
Excelente.
The reason it's nicer is because it would be in your drive and not a group drive. So if it's in your drive, you can add it to Canvas.
And then we'll do it in OneDrive. Okay, that's the question we had yesterday. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Amber's asking about sounds. If you can modify sounds, they're going to be up in the settings. So let's see. Sound. Or maybe notifications. It's notifications. In-app desktop notifications. Let's see here. So I can, let's see. Here we go. I would say do nothing when a new chat arrives, or let's see, when a message arrives that you want to uncheck play a sound. Yeah. So notifications. Any other mail or OneDrive or calendar questions? Sounds like we're pretty good there. All right. One thing that's not in your waffle, but is definitely something that a couple teachers last year really loved, is Minecraft. Minecraft EDU. So Miss Landis did some projects with it in social studies, and Miss Spindler in social studies, and they would have students build worlds. So I'll put this link in the chat, and students can go, they should be able to go, if they have a school computer, to the Software Center and download Minecraft to their school computer, and they would log in with their school account. And this is something you can do to build projects, and they can do project-based assessments through it. So, building a world to show, if it was geology, they could build worlds and show geologic features or environments or something. So this is definitely something, if this is something you want to look more into, in a month or so when school gets started, we can meet and we can work on talking about how you can do this with your students. But I just wanted to highlight it as an option. Any questions about Minecraft? And if students are using their personal computer, they'll just go to this website and they can download the EDU version. So they'll just put their email address here. Let's see. And it's going to say your school account is ready to use. Go to the download page and they can just download it onto their home computer. See, they can download it to Apple, Windows, and now even Chromebooks. So if they're working on a Chrome back at home, they can even do it there. All right. So hopefully you all connected your OneDrive through that 365 link to your Canvas account. Were there any problems with that?
Katie, I think I had a problem when I went into my Google Drive to connect to the Office 365. It didn't give me the same prompts as what your video was showing. So I don't know if it connected properly. But
okay, so this session, we're just talking about Office 365.
Okay.
That's not where Google Drive would be later.
Okay.
But Office 365, you should just, I'm going to log out to show you what it looks like.
Okay.
You should only be a one-time situation. You'll click log in and you'll log in with your Office 365. And it's
okay.
That's all that should happen.
Okay, yes, I did that. Okay.
All right.
All right, thank
The
you.
same process for the Google, but you use your school Google account. That app Woodbridge SHS account that you were given.
Okay.
And so if you don't remember that one, I can share that with you later.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. But you'll notice that your OneDrive is only your personal drive. You do not have access to those shared drives. So that's again why it's more important to keep your stuff just in your personal drive, or if there's something you want to share from a team drive with students, you're gonna have to copy it over to your personal OneDrive.
Okay.
Are there any questions about that, guys?
The only question I have is, like, is this supposed to be done in like a specific course that we're in, or once we connect it, it's connected to all of them?
Correct. It's a one-time setup. It's connected to all of them.
Katie, can I organize all my documents into files within Canvas, or I just have to go through the app of OneDrive and the Waffle?
Do you mean the files area in your account?
The files that they already were transferred to, yeah. Can I organize it? Because I think I need to do some shelving.
You can definitely organize the files area. I really just don't recommend using it. Things will just get placed there when you put them into a course. I haven't gone here and like uploaded all my files. I would just keep them in OneDrive or Google Drive.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And then as you add them to courses, they'll get added to folders. That's my recommendation, because you'll see that there's a limit to files. So
thank you.
All right, any other questions about, so we talked about the class notebook, which is an option. You would set that up after you get your blueprint from the district, after you cross list, then you could set up the class notebook once you have kids in your class. So like you said, if you want to go practice a course, no problem, Sheila, have a good day. If you wanted to go practice making a notebook and see if that's something you want to use, you can definitely do that in Office 365, and then you'll be able to copy the content over to this class notebook later.
One question I have about that is, like, let's say we have new students that come in throughout the year. If we're using the one notebook, will they automatically be added in there, or will we need to go back in and add?
I believe they should be automatically added, because this is all created based on your course listing. So,
okay, thank you.
You might have to delete students that leave though, because I've been told that when kids are going to leave classes, I have to go in and delete them from like all your classes, all you guys. I have to go in and delete people. Have, like, when a schedule change happens, I have to go in and manually delete people. So we'll see how that goes. All right, the last thing I wanted to show you was the Office 365 assignment. So if you have a file in your OneDrive and you want to give every kid their own copy, so this could be really good for taking those PDF worksheets that you have. You can change a PDF worksheet. If you open it with Word, you can turn it into a Word file that then kids could fill in and complete. So this would be one way to do that. So you would open your file, your PDF in Word, you save it as a Word document, and then you could assign it to each kid this way, and they could work on it. So I'll just show you how to make that assignment. You would just create a new assignment. And when you choose submission type, this is where you're going to choose that external tool assignment. So I make that external tool, I click find, and I have to search for Office 365 Cloud Assignment. Here we go, Office 365 Cloud Assignment. I'm going to click it and you'll see my drive will open up. So this is why, again, I can only share files that are already in my OneDrive. So you have to, there's a Word document you want your kids to do, you have to put it in your OneDrive before you make this assignment. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to give every kid a copy of this document. I'll say attach file. It's going to attach, it's going to give every kid in your class their own copy. Then I'll say select, and then I will save and publish that assignment. And each kid will get their own copy of that Word document or that PowerPoint or that Excel spreadsheet, and they'll all be able to edit it. Then it will get turned in to you, and you'll be able to edit grade it in SpeedGrader. Let me show you what it will look like on the SpeedGrader end. So when you get it back from the student. Here's an example. Okay. So when I go to SpeedGrader to grade the student's work after they've turned it in, this is what I'll see. I'll see a PDF version of their work on the left side of the screen. It's still loading. I'm not ahead of you. I just know what it's going to look like. I'll see the PDF on the left side, and I can use those annotation tools in SpeedGrader to give them some notes. So I can highlight something. I can add text directly on it. I can strike through text. I can write with a paintbrush and choose different colors. Okay. I can box something and then leave a comment. And then, you know, put their grade in the box and write any other comments that I might want, and then they get that feedback back. So that's the grading side of the Office 365 document. So you don't actually, like, I'm not actually opening the actual Word document and commenting on the Word document. I'm commenting on a PDF visual version of it. Are there any questions about that?
So I just want to clarify, when you assign the document, like you've taken a PDF and turned it into Word or a Word document that you already have, and you're assigning it to the students, it assigns them an actual Word document, but when it's sent back to you, it's in the PDF form.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Kathleen, how easy is it for them to see and access your feedback? Very easy. On their submission page, they'll see a little view feedback button, and they'll just click it and they'll see this exact view that you see right here.
Katie, I know in the past I've had quite a few students that used a MacBook, and so when they would submit things to Canvas, it was just a mess and I couldn't view it, and I had to tell them to go back and use some other application. Is this going to hurt those kids that refuse to sort of move over to their school device if they are MacBook people?
I'm on a MacBook right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so if they're
I don't know
using
what
it.
they were like giving me like dot pages or something that Canvas wouldn't take last year.
Right, but what this is, when you make this assignment, it's a cloud assignment. They're not going to do anything in any downloaded. They're going to go to they're going to be going to their Word Office 365 website and doing it here. They're not going to be down in like the downloaded program. They're not downloading a file and then uploading something. They're literally going to be popped over to Word in Office 365 like this, and that's where they're going to be doing their work.
Okay, that makes me feel better because some of my kids were like, nope, I'm using my MacBook.
Yeah, no, I'm using my MacBook, so I feel them. So, yeah.
If we give them feedback back and ask them to make corrections, would they go back to the original Word bot?
Yep, they'll go back to their Word document and then they'll resubmit.
Yeah, okay.
And you'll see if they have multiple submissions. This is actually a great example. So I have 2 different submissions here. So I can look at 2 different versions. So see, I didn't have any annotations there. And then this version, I had some feedback. So if they submitted it 5 times, you would see 5 submissions there. No, students will not change the Word document for anyone but themselves. So that was a question I got in the chat. If there a problem with students changing the Word document? No. Each kid's getting their own copy. They're not going to mess your original up at all. What will happen to the format if you download a PDF to Word? Yeah, that can be tricky. So yeah, you're just going to have to play with it. But yeah, you should be able to just open the PDF in Word and then save it as a doc, and it should be okay. But you'll have to save and play. The great thing about opening the PDF in Word is that students will be able to use Immersive Reader to read that text. And you just have to make sure you're opening a PDF that is actually text and not an image of text. So does everyone know what I mean by that? Like sometimes PDFs are just like, if you scanned it with an old scanner, you scanned like an old worksheet from 1975 with your flatbed scanner and made a PDF of it. It's actually just an image on a page and it's not like highlightable text. So you want to make sure that that PDF you can like go and highlight the text on so that it is, it's actually text and not an image.
How will that work with like math images, like graphs and things that are on a page?
I don't know. You'll have to play with it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, sorry. It says, am I correct that it won't allow us to upload a PDF, but only Word, PowerPoint, and Excel? For this cloud assignment, yes. This is only a Word, PowerPoint, or Excel option with the Office 365 cloud assignment. There is another hack if you want to do a PDF annotation, and I can show you that if you guys would like. So if you have a PDF and you want kids to annotate it, this is going to seem a little weird, but this is how it can be done. So you're going to make an assignment. And this is now, we've moved away. This is not Office 365 related at all, okay? This is a completely different type of assignment. But this is if you have a PDF and you just want them to annotate on it. I'm going to create an assignment. I'm going to give them a title to the assignment. Okay. I am going to put the PDF in this box. So I'm going to go to the PDF, find it on my computer. Okay, here, this looks good. Submit. I'm going to make my assignment type. It's going to be an online submission. They're going to do a file upload, and it's going to be the PDF. Then I set all the other stuff that I want to set, my points, et cetera, et cetera. But the important part is doing a submission type online, and it's a file upload, and I want to restrict them to a PDF. Any questions so far? Then I'm going to save and publish that assignment. Now I'm gonna move to the student side and show you how they would submit that assignment. And it's gonna look crazy. And you're gonna be like, what? But this is how it is. This is the hack. That's why it's called a hack. This isn't like a true way to do an assignment. This is just totally a hack. So I'm gonna go to my student view. Pretend I'm a student. I'm gonna go to my assignments. And I'm gonna go to this PDF assignment that I got. So I've made 2 videos that I will be glad to share with you. They're on our ITCs for All YouTube channel. One, they're both showing the student how to complete this assignment. One shows them if they're on a computer, and the other will show them if they're on an iPad, okay? What they're gonna do, and this is where it's gonna seem crazy, they're gonna download the PDF to their computer. So I'm gonna click it. It's gonna download. You see it's down in the bottom left corner. They're gonna submit the assignment. You're like, but they haven't done anything yet. I know. They're gonna submit the assignment. They're gonna drag that PDF to the file, and they're gonna submit the assignment, okay? Then they're gonna do the assignment. So it's like, way, yay, exciting, they submitted, but they didn't. They're gonna click on submission details, and they're gonna see what they submitted. This is what they would see after you give them feedback on an Office 365 assignment. They're gonna click view feedback. Now, they can click these little arrows and make it big. Now they can use all those tools that you have to annotate the assignment. So now they can annotate, they can use the text to write on the paper. So if this was a worksheet, they could fill it in. They can, highlight things. They can put the box around things. And when they're done, they'll zoom back out. And then they can just click resubmit to let you know they've annotated it. And they're done. And you would be able to view that in that speed grader for that assignment. So that's the hack. To allow them to annotate a PDF inside Canvas, that's the way you would do it. No, this is a real PDF. So it just becomes an image in that speed grader space. So there's I have videos about how to make the assignment, and I have the 2 student videos. So if you do one of these assignments, what I would recommend you do is, you have your PDF and then you have the student videos for how they would complete it below and put those right there in the assignment. Any other questions? Feel free to jump on the mic, and any questions about, Office 365, let's go. I'm going to put the attendance in the chat. So if you got what you needed today, just feel free to complete the attendance, and have a great day at, what is it? What time today? 1 o'clock, I'm doing Google. Same type of stuff, but with all the Google stuff. There you go.
I'm sorry, Katie, I am going to ask a dual question. Since they're kind of forcing us to use Nova's Canvas, I feel like, can I pull my stuff from our Google, my Woodbridge Google, or do I just need to put stuff, drag stuff to my desktop and then upload it to my Nova Canvas?
If in Nova Canvas,
I want to kill them.
in Nova Canvas, if you have a Google Drive, you should be able to attach this Google Drive.
Okay.
Because it's just whatever, you could log in with a personal Gmail account, but you shouldn't with students. That makes sense?
Yeah, I just thought my personal Google has different things than my school Google.
Right, so here is my Google, I can sign out of it, I can sign in with a different account. So you can sign in and out of them as you need.
Okay, and so I can pull stuff from that into a Canvas that's not affiliated with Prince William County.
Correct, yep.
Okay, thank you so much.
As for all those other apps like Flipgrid and stuff, unless Nova installs them, you know, or gives you the rights to install them, it's not going to be a go.
Okay.
Yeah. Flipgrid is something you should be able to install. Bye. Have a good day, guys. Any other questions? I'm going to stop the recording. The recording will be put